and Eagles last night, the battle for the edge. First time all year Cowboys started driving opponents' territory, and they turned it into points. Great play design, and Tavon Austin's a handful in space.
This is the Kellen Moore we've been looking for since the first 3 weeks of the season. Got one of the most exciting players in the league, the ball in open space. Touchdown, Cowboys.
All right, so Eagles get it back, try to get something going. Here comes Tank off the edge. The strip sack, ball's loose. Antoine Woods with the recovery, and Dallas in business again.
They needed to see this. Robert Quinn has been more DeMarcus Lawrence than DeMarcus Lawrence this year. This was huge for them early on in this game.
Give it to 21. Zeke busts over, and just like that, it's 14-0. Remember, the Eagles got the first half kickoff, so the Cowboys in great shape. They're up 24-7, 17 seconds left in the half, no timeouts. Not enough time to get into field goal position, right? Wrong.
Listen, when you look at Dak Prescott, this is something that he needed to improve on. This is huge, trying to get points on the board and put Meyer in position
Why
to
aren't they
kick a
covering
field
the
goal.
sidelines? They're letting Jason Witten get out of bounds, stop the clock, and they've got Brett Maher, who's got the huge leg. From 63 yards out, a new Dallas record, breaking his own of 62.
He might miss from 40, but from over 60,
right.
he is good.
He's money from 60 plus. So the Cowboys go into the locker room with some emotion. It's 30-10 in the fourth quarter. Carson Wentz just took his eyes off the snap here.
Carson Wentz is accepting the snap, getting the snap. He's looking downfield, trying to see where the safeties are going. He was just off all night. He played a bad game, and you see the result.
And Dak outplaying him, basically. Of course, the fourth rounder when Carson Wentz went number 2 overall. And the Cowboys just rolling in this one. Malcolm Jenkins worried too much about Zeke there, and the Cowboys get right, 37-10 the final. Now let's hear from the most candid person in the NFL.
It was great. Yeah, it was a great team win. The best complimentary football that we've played all year long. We're going to handle success the right way, so we don't have to get to these points where our backs are against the wall, where we're 3-3, we go on some losing streak before we have a performance like this. And that's what this week was about.
This team needed this. This team definitely needed this win, especially in the fashion we did it. You know, this is get some momentum for this season, get some momentum going into this bye week, so we can, close this season all right.
Is this the worst loss since you've been here?
It's either 1 or 2, yes.
Doug Peterson said, we will win this game, we will be in first in the NFC East, and then the Eagles turned in that performance. What did we learn from both teams last night?
Well, what you learned about the Philadelphia Eagles is that they weren't prepared. This team was going into a game that gave them an opportunity to be atop the NFC so we can represent this division in the playoffs, because I don't believe anyone from the East gets a wild card berth.
Okay, so the Cowboys are going to enjoy their bye week after routing their arch rivals, the Eagles. Philadelphia now, they've gotten blown out by the Vikings, blown out by the Cowboys. Now they go to Buffalo to take on the Bills on Sunday. Carrie?
David, I need them to continue to win so you can be pleasant. Meanwhile, Ravens Seahawks battle of MVP candidates early on. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on the Seahawks and that guy named Russell Wilson. But it was all about Lamar. RC, you with me?
I'm with you. And I'm with Lamar Jackson, too, because he plays better when he's angry. Baker Mayfield thinks he plays better when he's angry, but obviously Lamar does.
He's pissed, as you can see. He didn't get it. I don't think we can use that word on television. 3rd and 15. Jackson keeps it just short of the first down. RC, you always say you're tired of seeing him running, but you changed your mind.
I'm not necessarily tired of seeing him running. I just want him to end up being healthy for the rest of the season.
All right, here's Jackson, what he told Harbaugh during timeout.
So when I just told Harbaugh we need to go for it, he was like, he got faith. I'm going to get it.
And he actually got it. Now, how does that go, Ryan? Because you got a quarterback so confident in himself, and he says, I'm going to take it. And he got a touchdown.
When you're a coach like Coach Harbaugh and you are confident in what you can do as a coach, you give your best players opportunities to make plays, and it pays off there for the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens lead. Jackson doesn't find anyone open. 30-yard gain, keeping this drive alive. How special is this quarterback?
He's the best running quarterback of all time. That includes Michael Vick, Cam Newton, anybody you put up against him. When you got people slipping on banana peels like this, you are that dude.
Wow, Ryan, that's a bold statement. Ravens would obviously go on to win 30-16. And afterwards, here's Lamar Jackson on the win.
I had to change my cleats, and I had to change back to my originals. That turf sucked to me. It was high. Then the rain didn't help. I'm steady sliding and stuff, and it was ticking me off. The other ones I put in the screw-ins was Like, I was running slow. I'm getting caught by the linebackers. I'm like, I got to go back to my originals because ain't no way. Can't get caught by no linebackers.
I thought Lamar Jackson was phenomenal. I thought he was it wasn't on their designed runs, it was on the scramble runs that he was so explosive. And he's faster than he looked. You know, when you saw him in person, he's faster than we saw him on the film.
Okay, he's faster. That is the point. The Ravens continue with this good defense and a strong running game led by Lamar Jackson. You had a list that he's better than. I want you to be bold. So he's better than who in terms of running quarterbacks?
Oh, he's better than Michael Vick. He's better than Cam Newton. He's better than even our own Steve Young, who I think kind of ushered in some of these running quarterbacks. This is a guy who, from a skill set standpoint, a stop and start standpoint, when it comes to running the football, is like nothing we've seen at this position. And I know anytime you talk about some of the greats from the past, people tend to be a little standoffish and people tend to not want to go along with this line of thinking. But some of the moves that he's made this year, some of the runs and the way that he's finished things as a quarterback carrying the football have been absolutely amazing. And now we're starting to see that this formula may work going forward.
All right, this formula may work. They look good. Speaking of something that works, and we're going to stay in that same vein, they're talking about play of the year, catch of the year. Let's take a look at this. I don't know if you were paying attention to the football yesterday. Texas at Colts, third quarter. Watch it here. Brissett off a play action finds Ebron in the back end of this. Ryan, what are you looking at when you see this? Are you watching his feet?
Well, here's the thing. What I'm looking at, if I'm the referee, is that I can't believe this dude made this catch, so it has to be incomplete.
All right, afterwards with our Diana Rossini.
So when we call the play, it's designed, it's a two-man concept between me and Quentin Nelson. Crazy as it sounds, but we put Q at fullback just so we could give the defense something different to look at. And I knew it was coming. I just felt it the whole way. I knew they were playing man, so I waited for Q to get out of the backfield. It takes him a little bit longer. You know, he is an offensive guard.
Bigger.
So I stutter stepped the man defender. I knew I had someone right here holding my left arm. Right. Okay. So as I'm coming this way, he's holding my left arm, and I'm like, oh, I got this ball the whole time. And I just make a play. My left foot hits, my right foot hits here, and I knew to just drag. We talk about it all the time, the consistent dragging of the feet before you get out of bounds. Nick Sirianni harps on it. Drag your feet, drag your feet. So I knew I just dragged it. In my heart, I knew I was in, but after the replay, I really knew it was. I knew it was that.
I love his humility. His shirt said, be anyone you want to be except if you could be Eric Ebron. Something like that. That was one of the top 25 catches I've seen. And then, of course, Adam Vinatieri says that to him. He replies, that means a lot since you've been playing for about 85 years. That was Mike Wells giving us that. So, Ryan, on the back end, for his shirt, he's so humble, is he not? And then
unless you can be Eric Ebron. You know what I mean? Unless you can be Eric Ebron. This was really an amazing catch, and I think his feet were the most important part. Obviously, we see guys make one-handed catches now, but when you combine that with the presence of mind to drag the foot and even hear him talk about it, this is something that he worked. This is a skill. And for Eric Ebron, a guy who was drafted top 10, didn't really do what he was supposed to do in Detroit, to now be one of the best pass catchers at the tight end position, this has to be a good feeling for him.
Is this a play of the year for you?
Right now, it's one of the plays of the year. We've had Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and some of these guys do some things. I saw a play in this game from Deshaun Watson that was taken away by the referees calling him down in the pocket. That was also an amazing play. And so we have a lot of things to look at, but this is one of the top 5 of the season.
All right, yeah, let's everyone relax, not be too excited. Ryan hanging out with us all show long, I guess, all year long too. I'll send it back to you, David.
All right, Kerry, ahead on SportsCenter Coast to Coast. Tiger back on the tee for the first time since August. How he looked in Japan, playing for some cash in a skins game format. Tom Brady sitting down with his former wideout Randy Moss. What TB12 credits for the Patriots' unbeaten start to the season? Hint, it's not him. Plus, with the Battle of LA less than 36 hours off, Michael Wilbon tells us which Staples Center team has the better chance to win it all this year.